Welcome to the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and this is the place to get all the information on what's going on inside the athletic department at IU Kokomo. And joining us once again, like he does pretty much every week, it's my guy, Grant Patterson. He is one of the two assistant ADs at IUK. Grant, it's getting nicer outside, and it's kind of a nice time for it to get nicer outside because we're here to celebrate what happened on the track and field side.
Yeah, it's definitely getting nicer outside. Hopefully we continue to get those temperatures to rise, especially come May when Sydney Duncan is looking to win a second national championship in just her sophomore season. But on to women's and men's outdoor track and field. They just competed this past weekend at Rio Grande, the River States Conference championships, I should say. Men finished fourth, women finished third, so solid finishes there. The women's race was really, really tight between the top three teams. The men's race was not as tight. Rio Grande pretty much dominated from start to finish with a whopping 286 points, I believe, is just absurd if you ask me. But just an all-around good program is the Rio Grande men's squad. But yeah, on to our women. Sydney Duncan and Hannah Wells led the way for them. I'm pretty sure they were our two lone winners on the weekend. Now, that doesn't mean they only won one event each. Sydney won three different events, that being shot put, hammer throw, and discus. Just a big-time performance yet again. She won, I think she led off the weekend with discus Friday, and then shot put and hammer throw on Saturday. All stellar performances. I'm pretty sure she won every event by at least an entire meter. And then on to Hannah Wells. She had a strong weekend. She won the steeplechase. I'm pretty sure she did that last year as well. And then she finished top three in another event. Can't necessarily recall exactly what that was, but the steeplechase has kind of been her strong suit in outdoor season. Qualified for nationals last year. Maybe she will get in if not enough people qualify for nationals this year in that event. So hopefully we get Hannah Wells to return to nationals at nearby Indiana Wesleyan. But now we shift over to the men's side. Not as successful individually, fourth place finish, but Gabe Wedmore was our lone winner of any event on the men's side. He won weight or hammer throw?
Hammer throw.
Yeah, hammer throw. I forgot Gabe is dealing with a little bit of an injury, so he can't throw shot this outdoor season, despite the fact that he qualified for shot in indoor season. But yeah, Gabe won hammer throw. Multiple strong performances from our other male throwers. I know Berryman, both of the Ireland brothers had a couple top fives. Evan Gaylor was up there once again. But yeah, all around, it seems like both sides of throws teams have performed well throughout the year, and that's been a strong suit of both of our men's and women's track and field squads.
So I believe they have another meet coming up before the outdoor national meet. When is that next?
Yeah, Jay, you'll actually like to hear this. Yes, we are competing next weekend at IWU, but this weekend, Josh and them are taking a few student athletes to Ohio State to compete in a meet. I figured Jay would love that. Going over to Ohio State, just one more chance. It doesn't matter the level of competition you're facing. All that matters is the time or mark that you turn in. They'll go to Ohio State this weekend, and in my opinion, that'll take a little bit of pressure off before they go to IU the following weekend to try and compete and earn those. So really two more, maybe three more chances left. I can't remember if we're going to a USF Fighting Chance meet like we have in the past, but I know definitely a couple student athletes to Ohio State this weekend to try and punch their ticket, and then the same next weekend, the Billy Hayes Invitational at IU.
From the track and field side of things at conference, I believe women's tennis also had their conference tournament this past week, and I think a couple girls did pretty well. Yeah,
a trio of IU Kokomo teams were competing in River State's conference championships within the past week. Women's tennis, they went down on Friday. They competed against IU Southeast on, I think it was IU Southeast. Can't remember.
East.
IU East, there you go. IU East on Friday. They won handily, didn't even need to finish out the match in conference play or in the conference tournament. Once you get to that clinching point at 4, the match is over. So really impressive job there. Took care of business with them twice this year after dropping our lone match with them last year. Good. So a good bounce back. This is a team that finished 4-2 in River State's conference play, one of the best marks we've seen in a while from Christine Miller's program. So big shout out to her and their leadership between her and her assistant coach Saylor. Overall, they bounced back Saturday, losing the semifinals to a Midway squad that's really talented, really talented, and they're not number one in the conference either. Oakland City is ranked in both men's and women's tennis. So both Oakland City men and women moved on and advanced. Obviously, we don't have men's tennis here at IU Kokomo, but yeah, strong performance, another strong season from them, and I'm looking forward to see what they can do. Only one senior graduates from this team. Yes, she was a big piece in Riley Heiser, but I think she's left her mark on the program in such a positive way that the girls will be able to pick up. up where she left off.
Let's continue with the RSC vibe for the beginning of the show, at least, from women's tennis to women's golf, who also competed in the conference tournament.
Yeah, women's golf. I think Brandy would say they may have struggled a little bit. Conditions must have been pretty tough,
Okay.
whether that be playing conditions or hole locations, stuff like that. Yeah. The actual course itself could have been playing pretty hard. But yeah, Haley Stegeman led the way, as she's done all year. It seemed like she got the monkey off her back a couple weekends ago, winning the Trine University Spring Invitational. That's her first collegiate win. We touched on that in last week's show, I believe. And she really had a chance to win it in yesterday's final round. A 3-round event, 54 holes, started 18 holes Sunday, 18 holes Monday, and 18 holes yesterday. She was right there. I mean, had a real chance to win it. You can only tell so much. Golf isn't a sport that's live streamed at this level, so you're just following along on live stats. But yeah, just fell short. He tied for second to finish a scorecard playoff. Technically, she finished in solo third. Okay. But yeah, tied for second, a couple strokes back of the winner. Really, like I said, when they made the turn, she had a couple hole lead, but that was just based off the live scoring, and who knows whether the live scoring is actually completely up to date. So yeah, she was right there on the edge. I think our next best finisher was Chloe Crook. Good performance from a sophomore out of Logansport nearby. And then I think she finished tied for 13th. Okay. And then the other three were 21st, 25th, and 26th. And Anna Hutchings, Carly Chandler, and Stephanie Dickerson. Also want to give a big shout out to Dave Gossman. He's big-time soccer fanatic, but a big-time IU Kokomo sports fanatic. He's kind of taken the women's golf program under his wing this spring as well, after getting to know them and helping Brandy out a little on the course in the fall. So he made the trip out to West Virginia and was keeping me up to date with pictures throughout the week, and I really appreciate that.
Weird little story here. I haven't told Grant this at all. So I just moved.
Yeah.
And David Gossman lives on my street. And so I was cutting the grass this past weekend, and he was actually at the volleyball alumni game.
Gotcha.
After I cut the grass. He walks up to me, and I'm like, I don't want to say anything right now. I don't know what's going to happen. And he's like, you want to cut my grass? I was like, dude, I don't care. I don't care at all. He was joking, but I'm like, man, if you want me to cut your grass, I can do it. It's literally walking a couple feet, turn my lawnmower on, and then cutting the grass. But it was kind of weird that he just walked up to me and was like, you want to cut my grass? And he was joking about it. I'm like, dude, I'll cut your grass. I don't care.
That's Dave for you. That's Dave for you. Tell him that you want $20. I think Dave would do that for you.
Okay.
But Dave's a great guy, all honesty. Super appreciative of everything he does, not just to help make my job a little easier, but also to enhance the student-athlete experience.
From the women's golf side, who's already completed their conference tournament, the men's golf tournament for the RSC is coming up this weekend. Yeah,
just as the women did this past Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the men will now head out to Chillicothe this weekend to do the same. I'm sure they'll get out there Saturday if they would like for a practice round. And then, that kicks off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. As for the women's side, didn't really mention this, but the individual medalists, they qualify for NAI Nationals, so Haley was just a couple strokes off of that, as well as the winning team also qualifies for the team, it's the same tournament, but obviously there's a team and individual stroke play medalist honors. So the men's team will head out there. They've been led by Oliver Geralds, Hayden Williamson, Oliver's only a sophomore. Feels like he's been around a long time because he's played from the minute he stepped on campus. But really, we have a young team overall. Hayden's a junior. I don't think we graduate but one player in Ryder Jones. So Hayden, Luke Watson, Cole Collins, Lucas Miller. Lucas Miller really came into his own at the home tournament, firing an even par 72 in the final round to lead us to a one-stroke victory over IU East. And then obviously Oliver and Hayden have been bouncing back between 1 and 2 all year, but those two are pretty damn consistent. So hopefully they can keep it up next week at Glade Springs Golf Resort.
Seems like the River States Conference has just been the vibe all day. I really was just thinking about the first 3 or 4 sports you talked about.
It's all of them, actually.
The next one is baseball, and you're going solo to Chillicothe this week.
I am headed over to Chillicothe this week. Actually, by the time this is out, I will already be there. The baseball team is already over there. Thursday is when they open up action. They'll play at 11 a.m. against Midway. We're the number 4 seed. I think, in my opinion, we got a little lucky. Could have been as low as the 5 or maybe even the 6. But we are the number 4 seed, so that means we are the home team game 1 against Midway. Midway, this is a bit of a scary matchup, in my opinion. This is a Midway team that we went down and dominated and swept them earlier in the year. But Luther Bramblett, their head coach, is no slouch. He's one of the best in the conference, one of the best in the entire NAI, in my opinion. A really well-respected coach, at least from my side of things. And I've been impressed with his style of leadership. I would like to think if I were if I were a collegiate coach, I would kind of model my stuff after him. Pretty old school, doesn't mess around and stuff like that. So not an easy matchup game one, despite the fact that we're 3-0 against the Eagles already this year. But yeah, that'll take place over in Chillicothe at VA Memorial Stadium. Kind of a cool scene I'm sure most people listening to this show have never been there unless you are a baseball parent. It's on VA grounds. So when you come in, you got to kind of check in and let them know why you're there for the baseball tournament and stuff like that. It's just pretty cool. It's like you're in your own little world there on the VA campus. And Chillicothe, their gracious host, the Chillicothe Paints of the Prospect League, with the Kokomo Jackrabbits used to be in before the Northwoods League. They are the host. We play at their stadium. They do a great job of making us feel at home. I will eat so much concession food between these 4 days, Jay, considering that the conference picks up the tab, that I will be sick. And by the next time you see me on next Tuesday, I may be looking a little out of shape. Not as if I don't already, but the belly may be a little bigger.
So you are going to be there through the championship game?
Yeah, I will be there through the championship game as long as we stay on schedule. I'm a little bit worried about that. Thursday through Saturday, it's above 60% chance of rain all 3 days over there in Chillicothe, so I'm a bit worried about that. But yeah, I will be staying to help out the conference on the conference level, whether we bow out early or not. Ideally, we're there playing Sunday at 11 a.m., and we only have to win once to win the conference title and punch our program's first ever ticket to the NAIA tournament. But yeah, looking forward to it. We hired an outside streaming company to stream this year. Normally that's been all on us SIDs. Yeah. It's been a big weight on our shoulders, I feel like, really stressful, and it's a lot more work than people realize, especially when we're putting together the level of stream that we have in the past. So honestly, I can't act like I've ever been excited to go over there. I'm actually excited to go over there this year, stat some games, take some pictures, enjoy more of the baseball and the atmosphere, take all of it in instead of kind of busting your butt a little harder back to like my student worker days, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm super excited to work with our River States Conference SID, Ryan Murphy, Midway's SID, Clayton will be there, and then Walt Ferber from Oakland City. He's going to be the broadcaster. He's got some good experience calling some games for ESPN Plus, so I'm excited to work with that crew.
So last week on the show, Grant, you went over in detail some things going on with the sports camps going on at IUK, and I believe there is something we're going to talk about with volleyball once again in regards to the camps.
Yeah, much to my coworkers' delight, and Alexa Roberts and Heather Hayes, two volleyball people, they made it clear that I messed up, especially Alexa. Basketball camp, everything I told you last week is true. It's holding true. Volleyball, I missed a couple days. It's not just a 3-day camp. I should have known better than that. Just missed it. Grades 9 through 12, they will actually start on June 9th and 10th. So it's last week I told you everything was 11th through the 13th. That's not necessarily true, because if you are grades 9 through 12, you have a setting clinic on June 9th in the morning and then a hitting clinic to follow after lunch. And then on the next day, you have a passing clinic from 9 to 11 and then defense following from 12 to 2, just as you did on Monday. And then you could come back for a serving clinic on the 13th, that Friday from 12 to 2.
Okay.
And then, as I told you, these dates are right, but I'll tell everybody else again. Grades 6 through 8, they'll go setting and hitting 9 to 11 and 12 to 2 on the 11th, and then passing and defense 9 to 11 and 12 to 2 on the 12th. And then they'll also be around for a serving clinic on June 13th, but that serving clinic will be in the morning 9 to 11, while the older ages 9 through 12 will come from 12 to 2.
That's a lot of information.
A lot of information, I will say. The form can be, it doesn't have all the information on the initial page.
Okay.
So even if you're not 100% sure if you can go, fill out your email on the front page, click the drop-down menu, let them know what age you're interested. It won't go to them if you don't submit it.
Okay.
But then that'll give you all these dates, the dates that I'm looking at here on my phone. And yeah, it lays it out there for you. It's pretty clear once you actually get there. But also, if you've got a problem, iukcougars.com, under the department tab is our staff directory. You can literally email me. Heather Hayes is director of athletics and head volleyball coach. She'll be happy to answer questions. I'll be happy to answer questions. And we always know Alexa Roberts is happy to answer volleyball questions. She doesn't have much work to do in the summer. I like to give her crap about that. And she also doesn't have to take as much work home as I do. So send her some emails, ask her some questions about this upcoming volleyball camp. She'll be playing a major role in it. She's got plenty of volleyball experience herself. So yeah, high-level volleyball camp, best in Indiana.
Did we miss anything?
Jay, I don't think so. I'm just worried about if I can stay up for this trip to Chillicothe tonight, because it is going to be a long drive, and I have not been sleeping much lately.
I told you, man, you could have someone ride along with you, at least on that trip there. Getting back may be a different story for that person,
yeah.
But you could have a ride-along person on that trip.
All I can say is that party is unwilling to make the trip.
I'm going to leave it there. That's my guy, Grant Patterson. He is one of the two assistant ADs at IUK. And guys, this has been the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next time.